Hello everyone, my name is Radiona Chevanadia and this video is being born in Pilates House Hanoi Studio and Teacher Training Center. I would like to address this routine to the foot health. This would be a very basic class which will address both foot mobility as well as strength. If you want to address this routine to your everyday living, you can do it maybe a few times a week. If you're the person who performs sports, you may be would like to try this routine to implement on daily basis, depending on the sports which you are doing. All the exercises which will involve the foot will greatly improve the functionality of the whole of the body. Of course, the leg mechanics, but you'll see the great improvement and in general health as well. So let's get started. For the myofascial release of the foot, you would need the pinky ball. It will be the soft ball, which has some firmness to it, so not totally soft. And we'll start with placing the ball onto the first metatarsal head. And we'll just do the gentle presses by pressing the ball with our first metatarsal joint. And after a few times, you would move the ball to the middle aspect of the foot and start to press it there. Nice and easy. You have to be sensitive. If you have any spots which respond to you, you may stay longer over it. And then we'll move the ball a little bit more laterally. And again, start with the presses. Few times, just it should be more enjoying than the painful experience. And then let's move the ball in the middle arch and just apply the pressure over the ball. Few times, nice and easy, and move higher in the middle of the arch, and also squeeze the ball with your foot. And then you can do the presses with the heel on top. Of course, for the presses with the heel, it's nice if you have the bit harder ball, but still, if it's semi-hard, it's still enough. And then you can do the random rolling. There is a saying that the foot is the same sensitive organ as the eyes. So the feet are the eyes of the body, which looks straight down to the ground. And the more information we receive from the foot, the more information your brain has to keep you upright and create the effective movements. And finish. After this, repeat on the second side. We have been worked with the bottom of the foot, and for that technique is good if you have sometimes harder ball. But to work with the top of the foot, it's better if actually the ball is semi-hard or the softer one. So we'll apply the ball on top of the foot and try and start to press it down towards your toes. From the front to the bottom, nice and easy. Pressing and giving nice massaging, not pressing too hard that it creates pain, but enough pressure to feel the massaging sensation. And like this, you can go 2 to 3 times to each direction from the big toe till your little toe. There is something which in Pilates method we call tripod of balance. And the distribution of the weight over these tripods is extremely important to maintain the balanced body training. But many people experience problems with that, how to find those spots that don't feel quite well, the base under the big toe, under the little toe, or the heel. So before we do the training or trying to find our tripod of balance, I would like to suggest some routine which may help you a little bit to start to feel those bony structures better. So I'd like you to come into the semi-squat, not too deep, so you can stay here for a while and raise your heel on the right foot up and feel how the weight is centered. Just a few times, you'll do right to left, finding the weight and which bones you feel you're pressing on. And then when we go with the right foot, I want you to roll your knee in, out, feeling the little toe, center, and come back. And again, now left, big toe pressure, like the metatarsal of the big toe, small, center, and come back, and up, and ball of the right foot, and ball of the left foot. Okay, and again, up, and ball, in and out, and again, in and out, and one more time. And after this, you bring the legs into parallel position. So make sure that you have the legs aligned within the hip joints, knees, and ankles being in one line. And now, sense how do you feel standing on both legs. Now you want to feel the ball of the big toe, ball of the little toe, and center of the heel. And you can start to shift the weight side to side, sensing these 3 points of your feet. And this is something we sometimes not aware of when we have the weight distributed unevenly on our legs. And after you did this, I would like you to shift the weight to the front and to the back. And this is also a tricky thing because many people has their weight either too much forward on the front of the foot or too much back on the heels. So we want also to be balanced in between front to back. So as my mentor, Miss Lolita San Miguel says, we have to have 60% of the forefoot and 40% of the heels for daily living. Now, once you establish the front to back balance, you may close the eyes and make small shifts side to side, finding that balance between the right and left side. And once you have it, you can raise the toes and feel the big toe, little toe, center of the heel, and then relax the toes on the floor. And now you have your tripod of balance. Now here is the exercise which will increase the mobility of your big toe or the first MP joint. For many people, this can be limited because they may have some bony restrictions or arthritis of this joint. So if it's painful, please don't use this exercise. If you're overly well, then we can do it. So you'll be standing on the right foot, and then you will make a step and apply the pressure on your big toe and come back. And again, step up, apply the pressure and come back. For daily living, we need minimum of 45 degrees of the dorsiflexion of the big toe. Good if the range is about 80 or even 90 degrees. And please don't forget the big toe should be not only flexible, but we have to have enough strength through the foot to do the good push off from the floor or from the ground when we are walking. So after you do like 8 to 10 times with one leg, don't forget to repeat with the other leg. For the next exercise, I will use one prop, which is look like a badge. We don't want to have very big elevation, but we just bring our big toe in a predisposition to be already a little bit of flexion. So then I will step again and press the weight on the joint and again. So remember to move in a comfortable zone. If there is no pain to your joint, but there is a limitation in it, so then you can, after you practice with no prop, you can actually bring your practice into the the one which you have the prop and elevation from the beginning. So in this way, you may have a chance to work more on mobilizing of this joint. And again, after you did this exercise, please don't forget to do it on the second side. I was introduced to this exercise as a short foot exercise, and later I have discovered that this exercise belongs to the Czechoslovakian physiotherapist Vladimir Janda, and it's also called the Janda's short foot exercise. So in this exercise, you want to maintain the weight on the tripod of balance. And then after this, you imagine your foot as a half dome, and you want to raise the arch of your dome up and then relax. And again, raise the arch up and relax. And this is what gives the strength to intrinsic muscles of the foot. Very nice exercise, can be performed and should be performed quite often. Try to keep the toes relaxed, but just bring your first metatarsal toward the heel by lifting the arch up off the ground. And for those of you who knows a little bit more about the human's physiology, you might know that one of our diaphragms is our foot diaphragm. So by working out this, we create a great support of the top of our diaphragms, namely the pelvic floor diaphragm and diaphragm which is on top of the neck. 10 to 15 times would be enough. And then do the second side. For the next exercise, you would need to have a yoga block, and the ball could be any ball which you can squeeze, can be a tennis ball, so anything is available to you. And here we will be doing heel lowers and heel raises, and on the top of the movement we'll squeeze the ball together. And again, lower the heels down off the block and squeeze the heels together. Lower it down and squeeze the heels together, and lower it down and squeeze the heels together. And this is a perfect thing to strengthen your ankle joints. So then if you have time, really also include this to your daily routine. You won't be not happy with this. Okay, squeeze it up. So I'm about to have 10, but I already feel the great connection up to my gluteals. So an excellent exercise. And let's do one more time. The next exercise would be a good one also to have a nice stretches, and we emphasize a bit different direction of the movement. So here we will do the stretches for two muscles, the gastrocnemius when you have the knees straight, and the soleus when you have the knees slightly bent. So here again you will start by reaching the heels down towards the floor and raise it up to neutral. And again, reach the heels down and up to neutral. So this gives a nice calf and Achilles stretch, and 8 to 10 times would be nice to have. And after you have this, you can add something to it. So you will lower the heel, and then you will bend the knees a little bit, getting the soleus muscle stretch, which is one joint muscle, and relax. And again, heels down and bend the knees gently and relax. And again, down and bend the knees gently and relax. One more time, down and bend the knees gently and relax. The next thing I would like to talk to is the actually balancing on one leg, which seems to be simple, but when we make it correctly, you will see that this is not that simple as you thought it is. Many people create a lot of compensations during the single leg stance. And to try this out, first I would like you to bring the legs parallel, hip width distance apart. And then you'll need to shift the weight of all of your body towards the one side. And what you can do here to start to lift the heel of the opposite leg up off the floor, and then you'll notice how much weight will be taken this side, and then what is your foot is doing during this action. And we'll try on the second side, same. So weight bearing towards the other side, and then lift the foot off a bit. And again. And now, so once you see there is no hip shift, no transferring of the chest to the opposite side, you will start to raise the leg, staying in your single leg balance with the pelvis perfectly aligned and with no desire to shift the weight over one on the second side. So nice and stable foot would give you the excellent support in every sport you're doing. Let's do the second side. Again, you shift, you feel there is no hike, no chest adaptations, and you just start to raise the opposite leg. Now, in the standing foot, there is a little bit of the short foot form. So the arch has to be lifted, has to be active, has to work and give you full support in the standing position on one leg. And 10 to 15 times would be enough.